First of all, I'd like to say thank you to all of you today for coming out. I know a lot of you drove a lot of miles to get here and to celebrate Dad and to honor him, and that means a great deal to my mom and my brother and I. I've been to a number of funerals in my life where I have seen family members come up and speak and offer stories and kind words about their loved one, the one that's passed on. And I've always been amazed at those people's ability to come up here and speak and keep their emotions in check. I thought, man, that's just a remarkable ability that those people have, and I just felt like I should tell you that I'm not those people. If you know me and my family, specifically my mother's side of the family, we have a unique ability to tear up over a well-written dish soap commercial. So just, I would say, while you're sitting there today, pray for me as I try to share and honor. As I honor my dad. As I look across this room, I see a lot of faces that I know well. I see a lot of faces that I remember that I'm supposed to know. It's been a few years for a lot of you that I haven't seen you. And there's honestly faces that I don't know at all. But I do know this, that I know that each and every one of you in this sanctuary today, you have something in common. And that is that your lives were somehow, some way impacted and made better because of my dad. And I would venture to say that if I asked you guys if Dad had fixed your car or your church bus or your tractor or your lawnmower, or just about anything that has a motor on it, that each of you would stand up and testify and say that he was really good at what he did. And I just want to assure all of you today that I'm with you, because I don't know who's going to fix my lawnmower this spring. So hopefully we can all figure that out before spring. But my dad, he lived a blessed life. He was able to spend 57 of his 78 years on earth with the love of his life, my mama. He was a precious gift, just to us, but to a lot of people around Fannin County and Grayson County. He was a gift, and it's going to be hard for us to go on without him being here, but by the grace of God, we're going to make it. And we have already been experiencing that peace that only God can provide in a time like this. And Psalms 34:18 says that the Lord is close to the brokenhearted, and he saves those who are crushed in spirit. And I know that God is concerned with our hurts. He's concerned with our despair that we feel today. He draws close to us in those moments, and he saves us from being consumed by that loss. And man, I'm so thankful for that today. Dad was an honorable man. He was kind. He was accepting. He was quiet. He was, by all definitions, an introvert. And if you put him in a room full of people, I guarantee you he was going to find his way to the edge where he could be a part. But he liked to people watch too. He was never a person to seek the spotlight or try to be the center of attention. And honestly, while he would be grateful, he would be a bit embarrassed at all of the attention that he has garnered the past 9 weeks on Facebook. He would think that was a little bit excessive. He would probably think even today was a little bit much. Dad was simple, and He loved the simple pleasures of life. Fancy wasn't his style. He would have been just as happy with a bucket of fried chicken livers and some bread as a thick steak from a fancy restaurant. But his and Mom's favorite destination to go eat would be in Paris, Texas at the Fish Fry for an early supper on a Thursday evening. And they did that so often that the staff there just quit bothering bringing them a menu. They just set them down and start pumping that catfish to them. That's what they could eat. And Dad he really enjoyed a nice road trip too. He loved driving somewhere, anywhere he could go. He loved to drive, and at least I think that is the case. It might be that he hated the idea of flying so much that driving was the next best thing. And I can completely understand that. I'm the same way. But Dad loved to go on vacation with friends and get in the car with Mom and just take off. He was unique in that he had an atlas. I know there's a lot of folks in here probably have never seen one of those, but he had one, and he would get it at the table and draw out where they were going to see where they were going to end up at the end of the day. He didn't need a huge elaborate plan before he jumped off in the middle of something. And I think that's where my brother and I learned that if we wanted to do something, all we got to do is just get started and figure it out on the fly. We built houses and we worked on cars with that mentality, and even built chicken pens. It always works out. You know, Dad was remarkable in a lot of ways, but I think what really stood out to me about my dad was his work ethic. And I would imagine most of you guys in here have witnessed that at some point in your life, and Dad was a hard worker. Whether he was getting paid or not didn't impact the amount of effort that he put toward whatever he put his hands to. And as you could just heard from Brother Cornwell, Dad, he started working on things that mattered at an early age. At 6 years old, he was working on a motor on my Mama's washing machine. 6 years old. Think about that. Think about what you were doing at 6 years old. I know what I was doing. I was playing with Hot Wheels on the living room floor. That's what I was doing. And my dad was working on a gas-powered washer and motor. Just amazing. I can't recall a day when my dad didn't work. It's like he said, he was lining up work to do this winter at 78 years old. He's got a lawnmower sitting over there now that belongs to one of his neighbors, jacked up and ready to put the blades on it. Dad had an innate ability to make a motor run. And I think my brother said it best when he described it as being like a sixth sense that my dad had to understand the workings of an engine and what it was that it took to make one that wasn't running to run. He just had that innate ability. And I was talking to Don Nelms, it's one of my dad's friends. I was talking to him about a week before Dad passed, and Don was telling me that Dad, that he had something going on with his truck. Something was wrong with it. And he said, if I could just get Tom to wake up and talk to me for 5 minutes, and I could tell him what was wrong, what was going on, he could tell me what was wrong. Dad had that ability, and yes, he made a living working on cars and motors and anything that had a motor his whole life. But he didn't hoard up those abilities of his just to get paid. You could call Dad at 9 o'clock at night, say, Tom, I got this going on with my motor or my mower or anything, and he would offer you up as much information as he had to try and help you get going again. And he'd always tag it with, if that don't work, bring it to me, or I'll come see you tomorrow. He was always fair about that, and he was never trying to break anybody. He just wanted to provide for his family. And, he did that without fail for his entire life. His mindset was to help people first. And maybe that's why he never became a wealthy man, monetarily speaking. But man, was he rich. Look across this room. And see how rich he was. He was a loved man. He was respected. He was a good man. He was a good friend to a lot of people. He was a good husband to my mom. He was a good Pawpaw. He was a great dad. And he not only wanted to help his friends when he could, but he was always there to lend a hand or give advice to my brother and I as we became men and became homeowners. Began to have families of our own. He taught us a lot of skills along the way that we continue to use even now. He taught us how to take care of our cars. He taught us how to work on our own house problems so we didn't have to pay somebody to come do it. He taught us, along with a slew of his friends, how to quail hunt. Those were some great memories. He taught us how to be men. That good women want to hang out with. Well, we both, my brother and I, benefited greatly from that. And as his grandkids became adults, they needed to utilize his very particular set of skills. He was more than willing to help them too. He loved it. He loved to be needed by those that he helped dear. And while Dad loved helping other people when he could, when they needed him, he did love to make a good deal also. He's told my brother and I countless stories of getting a good deal on a car or a mower, a handful of lawn mowers, and making them run, fixing them up, and then he'd sell them. And he'd call it hitting a lick. Call him on the phone, and he'd say, "Well, I hit a lick this week." And then he would launch into the details of whatever adventure he had. You know, he loved to take something that appeared worthless and make it into something that somebody might want to buy. Something that people wanted. And he had this small plaque on his on the wall right beside his chair at home. It's a little bitty thing, but it's hanging up there, and it says, "A deal is a deal." And I think that saying seemed to be something that he grabbed a hold of early in his life. And much to my surprise, my dad was quite the letter writer back in the day. He would write my mama letters from where he was working in Houston just before they got married. So what I'm going to read to you now, what I'm about to read to you, was written about 60 years ago. And I'm not going to read you the whole letter, but I wanted to give you a glimpse of my dad, the deal maker. He began this letter by telling my mom that he had arrived in Houston, and he was safe, and he made it okay. Then he said this. He said, "Honey, I bought your rings Monday night. I got a good deal, and I didn't know it. I gave over $100 for yours, and they gave me one for myself at no cost." He said, "I didn't even know it until I went in after them today. I hope it doesn't make you mad because I got my own." But a deal is a deal. That's my dad. And he went on in that letter to say that he was going to try and sell his car so he could finish paying off the rings and get their house all set up and the first month's rent. And he went into great detail about what he needed to do there. You know, he was committed to my mother from the get-go. And he proved it over the course of 57 years. And even though my dad wrote some really sweet letters to my mom, even to his own mother, Dad was not a person that you were going to have a lot of deep, lengthy, groundbreaking conversations with. But what my dad was, however, was a person that you could observe from a distance. And you could see exactly how to live out the instructions that the Apostle Paul gives to us in Ephesians 6:4, where he says, "Fathers, do not exasperate your children. Instead, bring them up in the training and instructions of the Lord." Exasperate means to irritate and frustrate someone intently. That was not my dad. He was not that person. He might not have quoted scripture to my brother and I, or sat us down to have lengthy conversations about how to be good men, but he walked the walk. And he showed us how to be a good man. He showed us how to be dependable. He showed us how to love our families, how to love our friends, how to love Jesus. He didn't have to say it, he just did it. And I'm telling you, as I look back on some of the things that I did, stunts that I pulled, a lot of them with my brother sitting right beside me, if not a handful of cousins. And we tried his patience, but we never got to him. You know, I was the one doing the exasperating. And Dad took it. He was a patient man. And my brother and I, we were spoiled by a man who loved to buy and sell cars and trucks. I can't remember all the different vehicles that he bought that we were allowed to drive and call our own. I think I probably wrecked about half of them at some point or another, and rightfully so, Dad would be upset about that. But ultimately, he would help me fix whatever it was that I tore up, and he would gladly let me sweep his auto shop and clean car parts for the summer to pay my penance. I guess he just wanted us to have the things that he might have missed out on at our age. You know, he made it really easy for my brother and I to accept that God the Father was a good God, because he was good. He was good to us. And he set that example. And he put us in the right place here at Hebron Baptist Church in order that we could come to know Jesus. And I know he wasn't perfect. I know that. None of us are, but he was pretty close in my eyes. He's going to be missed. My eldest granddaughter, Gordon, little JoJo, she's so sweet. She always makes sure that every Christmas that her siblings and her cousins, they all get a little something from her. If she has to go to the Dollar Tree with her own money, she's going to get them something. If she doesn't have any money, she's going to make them something. She's very crafty that way. And this year she made Christmas cards for all of us. Just drew them, and she's just so good and sweet at doing that kind of thing. She made my mom and dad a Christmas card this year, and it said, "Merry Christmas, Mama and Pawpaw. Love you so much. God is with you through hard times, but we believe Pawpaw will be healed." I will keep praying. Love y'all so much. Y'all are the best. And what is interesting about that card to me is that JoJo, at 12 years old, typically is a better speller than I am. She was pretty sharp. But she spelled the word healed, H-E-L-D. So what she said was that we believe Pawpaw will be held. And I take great comfort in knowing Pawpaw is being held. In Isaiah 41:13 it says, "For I am the Lord your God who takes hold of your right hand and says to you, do not fear, I will help you." And as it became imminent that Dad was not going to pull through this hard-fought battle, my brother and I, we went in with him, and he was still somewhat aware and able to understand conversation. He wasn't able to talk, but he did understand. And we talked to him about what was about to happen. We told him that he had developed some complications that the doctors were not going to be able to fix. We told him that we loved him. We told him that Mom was going to be fine. We were going to make certain of that. And we told him not to be afraid. Do not fear. And with that information, my dad gave us a wink and a nod. And that was a hard conversation. But it was necessary because I believe that Dad needed to know that he did not need to worry himself any longer with the things of this world. That we've got this, don't be afraid. And I can't help but think that if he could have talked to us, he would have given us a shrug of his shoulders, and he would have said, "It is what it is, boys." Because that's what he told the doctors when we got started on this process back in October. It is what it is. And that was his mentality. If it was out of his control, he did not concern himself with it any longer. He put it in the hands of God, and he didn't think twice about it. One of the last conversations I had with Dad before he had his first surgery back in October, Dad said, "I'm concerned like any person would be, but I'm not scared." He said, "I know I'm saved, so the rest is up to him." That's my dad saying it is what it is. Showing us one last time that what it looks like to have faith in a God that's going to work out the details of our lives for our good. And Dad's good today. He's real good. And we're good. We're going to be okay. We're going to get through it and find our new normal, as they say. So with that, I would say again, thank you for coming today. Thank you for coming to celebrate my dad. He was a special guy.